All right, so I'm trying to see if this works from where I'm at. I'm in, oh, I guess first off, hey everybody, this is Stuart with Wine on a Dime, and today I'm in New York City, specifically the upper west side of Manhattan, and I don't have any of my camera equipment with me whatsoever, like none of it. So what I decided to do instead was to actually do a live stream wine review because I've kind of been slacking this last couple weeks with all the travel, been exhausted, haven't edited a lot of videos, so I wanted to make up and have some additional content on the channel for you guys. And on top of that, there's a specific winery that I've been trying to find for a really, really long time now. And it just so happened that this random wine store I walked into in the middle of Manhattan had the wine. So I'm actually going to be reviewing the Connoisseur Bicicleta. It is a Pinot Noir, third limited edition. And I'm getting a phone call in the middle of this live stream. Thank you for that. It's live. We're live. And it is 30% alcohol by volume, and I paid $18 for it at my local wine store around the corner from where I'm at on 79th Street. So I really like this label. It's a very colorful label. It's just very nice. I've always thought the connoisseur labels were very, very good. But let's take a look. And you can tell I'm in a hotel room doing this as an ad hoc setup because here's my wine glass for this review. But from a color standpoint, I don't really have good lighting in here. I'm going to give you ruby. From what I can see, you're a ruby. No RFX, no cloudiness. From a nose, you have some interesting aromas. There's a little bit of like South Washington Wine Valley funk coming off of you. It's the first thing I notice is this funk. Yeah, I know. Dave, the hotel wine. The hotel doesn't have a wine bar. They don't even have a bar. They're they're just a hotel. They're nothing fancy. Not everything in Manhattan's fancy. If they had wine glasses, I would have got them. So I'm using this instead. But from a nose standpoint, that funk is very noticeable. I'm also getting a number of pyrazines, which I tend to get on Chilean wines anyway. So that's not necessarily out of character for this. A lot of strawberry, a lot of raspberry, little bit of a red cherry note, very touch of what smells like mushroom, very light touch of it, little bit of a leathery note, but a lot of barnyard funk and a lot of pyrazine. So let's take a look from the taste. So, the pyrazine is definitely there. The pyrazine note, and if you're not certain what I mean by pyrazine, it's like that green bell pepper note, kind of that pepperiness. There is a definitive note of that in here. That barnyard is there as well. So is that it's like a sour red cherry. Sour red cherry, a little bit of a cranberry, some strawberry, touch of raspberry, a lot of red fruit in this wine. I mean, it's a little bit weird because I've been doing so many French and Willamette and Oregon Pinot Noir that going to Chile, totally different flavor profile. Totally different flavor profile. If someone handed this to me, I would probably have said it was almost like a weak-bodied Carmenere. I mean, it really does have a substantial amount of pyrazine to it. It's not a bad thing though. It gives it a totally different profile. Like sitting here drinking this wine, and since I'm doing this live for those of you who haven't caught it, this Connoisseur Bicicleta Pinot Noir. I kind of think that this has a really good place in a sort of like a wine list or wine library that you have at home. It's has such a different flavor profile from other Pinot Noir that it kind of fills a gap. Hey, Wine Jam, how you doing? And I'm having a hard time with this. So let me get to the rating, and then let me get kind of to the use case on what I would do with this. So from a balance standpoint, I don't know if you're necessarily in balance. I would have liked to have pulled back on the pyrazine a little bit, add a little bit more of a sour fruit note to it. I think that would have counterbalanced that so much. It is a very heavy pyrazine, which could either be because it's from Chile and they're kind of known for having a heavy pyrazine, or they could have been underripe grapes. Regardless, that pyrazine is a little high for me, so I'm giving you half a point. From a length standpoint, you have a medium finish, so I'll give you half a point. Intensity, you do have a lot of intensity. That red fruit is very, very intense. You also have a really strong barnyard, and you're starting to develop some tertiary, and that kind of goes into complexity. But overall, those notes are still noticeable enough where I'll give you a full point for intensity. And from a complexity standpoint, I'm going to give you half a point. You're getting to the point where you have a lot of primary fruit. You're just starting to develop some tertiary. I am getting like a little bit of like a cinnamon, a little bit of like a cedar type note. I forgot to mention that during the tasting. That comes out of the secondary, so there is some secondary there. It's going to take a little while, probably about another 5 years, 6 years before that tertiary really kind of pops out. That might mellow the pyrazines as well. But however, complexity, you're going to get half a point. So that's 2.5 points. I'm going to lean towards a good review. And if I was doing a normal review, I'd go like this, and a graphic would pop up, and I don't have any of that because I'm in a hotel room. I don't even have my camera level from what I can tell. So I'm going to give you good. It's definitely a wine that I think I would pick up again. And now I'm kind of going into the which gap does it fill type of thing. So I really like French Pinot Noirs for pairing with food. Really, really savory foods, like your traditional kind of French fare. Like I really like Burgundies and red Burgundies and stuff like that. I think they're really good. My favorite Pinot Noirs overall are Willamette Valley. Maybe you might find some Washington stuff, and that's because I think they pair well with lots of different kinds of food, but also they're what I call solo drinkers. You can drink them on your own without having to need anything. Just pour a glass, enjoy it, and you'll be fine. This one, I don't know if I would consider it a solo drinker, but I think it would pair really well with basically the food from the area. I think this is an exceptionally great pairing wine with things that have pyrazines. Things like a lot of the food that I cook at home out of San Antonio, where I have like some jalapenos and I'll have bell peppers and things like that. These things that have natural pyrazines in it, I think those will align really well and cut each other out. And then at that point, I'm kind of left with more of that fruit and some more of that spice. And I think that these will work really well together if you pair it with the food that it's kind of designed for in the area. I don't recommend it as a solo drinker, but I do think it has a use case in a wine cellar if that's the kind of thing that you're into. So overall, it's not a bad choice. $18, it's about mid price for your average good to very good Pinot Noir, and it's not out of base. I got it for $18 in New York. I'd probably get it cheaper somewhere else. So I mean, just keep that in mind as well as you're looking through, and if you can find it in your wine aisle. On that note, anyway, this has been Stuart with Wine on the Dime. If you liked today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I saw your note, Wine Jam, about French Burgundy. It's really hard to beat French Burgundy. However, I do think there are a lot of producers in Willamette Valley in Oregon that kind of be on par, sometimes beat out your average French Burgundy. So I'm just saying, I'm not a New World or Old World snob, but that's kind of the way I feel about those. Anyway, this has been Stuart with Wine on the Dime. If you liked today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll be back to shooting my regular videos and uploading those soon. If you actually liked the live content, then definitely definitely tell me what, oh no, I just don't have enough. Oh no. Okay, I have to stop the outro. Dave just posted out something. California Pinot Noir. I think it's too jammy. Overall. I've had some good ones. They don't tend to be what I go for. I tend to go for a little bit more of that lighter body. So many of them have been overly jammy or overly alcoholic. Well, you know, send me hey, you know what? Let's do this. Dave, you send me a list of the good sub $15 California Pinot Noirs. I'll start looking for them to see if they have them in my area, and I can do a blind tasting. I will try to see if I can find another bottle of this, but I don't know if I can because I don't think they distribute in Texas. But I will try to find something close. I will grab a French one. I will grab a Willamette, and I will grab a California. I will have someone set it up as a blind tasting. I will go through, and if if I choose the California one, I will send you a bottle of wine from Texas. How about that, Dave? How about that? So I don't know where I was in the outro. If you liked the live content, then please let me know. Especially if you would like to see other types of live content, then I'll try to see what I can do to create those, and maybe do it in a place where I have better lighting and you don't see a sprinkler in the back. So I'll see you all again soon with another episode from Wine on the Dime. You guys have a good day. Enjoy some wine. Be responsible. All that good stuff. See you again soon.